Imagine a world where energy is free, where electricity is broadcast through the air itself, available to anyone, anywhere on the planet, with no wires. This was not a science fiction fantasy. It was the obsession of a man whose mind operated on a different frequency from the rest of humanity. A man whose rivalry with Thomas Edison would define the modern age, but whose greatest dreams would be deemed too dangerous, too radical, and too unprofitable for the world he lived in. This is the code behind the tragic genius of Nikola Tesla. Born in 1856 during a fierce lightning storm in what is now Croatia, Nikola Tesla was a true prodigy. He possessed an eidetic memory, able to recall entire books and images in perfect detail. But his most extraordinary gift was the ability to conduct complex experiments entirely in his mind. He would visualize his inventions with such clarity that he could build, test, and even run them for weeks in his imagination, identifying flaws and making improvements before ever constructing a physical prototype. It was a mind that didn't just see the world, it simulated it. After electrifying Europe with his ideas, he arrived in America in 1884 with 4 cents in his pocket and a letter of introduction to the one man he thought would understand his vision, Thomas Edison. Edison, the Wizard of Menlo Park, was the king of invention, but he was a pragmatist, a businessman. He had built his empire on direct current, or DC, a system that was inefficient over long distances. Tesla arrived with a revolutionary idea, alternating current, or AC, a system that could transport immense amounts of power over hundreds of miles with little loss. Edison hired him, but their fundamental philosophies clashed. The most famous story of this clash involves Edison offering Tesla $50,000, a fortune at the time, to fix the problems with his inefficient DC dynamos. When Tesla succeeded, Edison refused to pay, allegedly laughing it off by saying, "Tesla, you don't understand our American humor." For Tesla, this wasn't humor, it was a betrayal. He resigned, learning a hard lesson that in America, invention was secondary to profit. After a period of digging ditches to survive, Tesla partnered with industrialist George Westinghouse. What followed was a brutal corporate and public relations battle. Edison, desperate to protect his DC empire, launched a vicious smear campaign. He publicly electrocuted stray animals and even a circus elephant named Topsy with Tesla's AC power to prove how dangerous it was. He lobbied to have the first electric chair powered by AC, forever associating the technology with death in the public's mind. But Tesla was not just an inventor, he was a showman. In a stunning display at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, he passed high-frequency AC currents through his own body to light up lamps in his hands, proving its safety in the most dramatic way possible. ultimately, AC's superior technology won. Westinghouse was awarded the contract to build the massive hydroelectric power plant at Niagara Falls, using Tesla's patents. The world was electrified, but the war had nearly bankrupted Westinghouse. In an act of incredible selflessness, and to save the AC system he believed in, Tesla tore up his lucrative royalty contract with Westinghouse, forfeiting a fortune that would have made him one of the richest men in the world. He had won the war, but given away the spoils. For Tesla, this was merely a stepping stone to a much grander, more terrifying ambition. He moved his laboratory to Colorado Springs. Here, under the vast stormy skies, he constructed a massive magnifying transmitter, a bizarre tower topped with a copper sphere. He was experimenting with sending energy through the Earth itself. He generated artificial lightning bolts over 100 feet long, creating thunder that could be heard 15 miles away. The air around his lab crackled with electricity. Butterflies were seen with blue halos of St. Elmo's fire around their wings. He was proving his theory that he could use the planet as a massive electrical conductor to send energy and information anywhere, wirelessly. With the backing of the world's most powerful banker, J.P. Morgan, Tesla returned to New York to build his ultimate dream, the Wardenclyffe Tower. This was not just a radio tower, it was to be the hub of a world wireless system. Tesla envisioned it broadcasting not just messages and pictures, but electrical power itself to the entire globe. Anyone, anywhere, could tap into this energy with a simple receiver. It was a utopian vision of a connected, empowered world with free, limitless energy. And that was its downfall. When J.P. Morgan realized that Tesla's system was designed in a way that the energy could not be easily metered and therefore could not be sold, he pulled the funding. Morgan was a banker. He invested in profitable systems, not utopian dreams. The tower, Tesla's magnum opus, was never completed. It was left to rot, a colossal tombstone for a future that was deemed too radical to exist. This failure broke something in Tesla. He continued to invent, but his ideas became more grandiose, more isolated. He claimed to have developed a death ray capable of destroying armies and an earthquake machine that could split the planet. His final years were spent as a recluse in a New York hotel, his genius overshadowed by his eccentricities, his only companions the city's pigeons, which he claimed to love as if they were his own children. He died nearly penniless in 1943. But the story does not end there. Upon his death, agents from the FBI immediately seized all of his property, including trunks filled with his research, notes, and blueprints. These documents were declared top secret and disappeared into the vaults of the U.S. government. To this day, many of his papers remain classified. This has fueled decades of speculation. Was his death ray real? Did he truly discover a way to transmit free energy? The official story is that his ideas were impractical, but the actions of the government suggest otherwise. The secrets of his most radical inventions may still be hidden, a final, undecoded chapter in his incredible life. The Code of Nikola Tesla is a tragic one. It's the story of a mind that saw the 21st century while living in the 19th. A genius whose vision of a better, freer world for humanity clashed with the commercial realities of his time. He gave us the AC power that runs our civilization, But the wireless world he dreamed of remains, for now, just a dream. And that is the architecture of the mind of Nikola Tesla. Remember, history is more than a story. It's a code. And there is always another layer to decrypt. Subscribe and continue the investigation with us.